Families of those killed say that there needs to be permanent change on Bourbon Street. 1 year later, that conversation about what to do, though, appears stuck, waiting for the city to act. The big question, will Bourbon Street become a pedestrian mall? Also, what changes are already on the ground, and why is it that 1 year later, and talk about change, all of it still sits in the planning stage? Quite a few questions here this morning. We take a closer look.
We're leaning in, we will be relentless, and we will do everything that it takes to render real justice.
Look back and figure out what gaps were there.
We know that we could have done it differently.
Do they make a decision for permanent closure? Or do they make a decision for something less than a permanent disclosure?
We actually like to see them implement it so that the preventative measures are taken.
On Bourbon Street, a vine of 800 prayer flags fly in memoriam. The tribute, albeit temporary, its display shows the city's vow never to forget. On the ground, barriers, they too short-term, also mark where the conversation stands over what to do 1 year later.
The City Council is clearly trying to determine those security gaps that existed prior to the attack.
1 week after the attack last New Year's Day, city leaders questioned not only how to bolster security on Bourbon, they also asked what happened to safeguards already in place but not fully operational that morning. From bollards first installed in 2017 to sidewalk barriers and a hydraulic road blocking gate. The question then, and in many ways now, how should New Orleans best respond? Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick last January before the council.
He did agree that he would come forward and serve not only as my expert on how to hard target our city, but he is here to serve all of us.
He is Bill Bratton, former commissioner of the New York City Police Department. The New Orleans Police and Justice Foundation hired the risk and security expert to recommend changes. Melanie Talia is president and CEO.
We do know that there was a vehicle blocking the foot of Bourbon Street, but as it turned out, there was a space just big enough for a truck to take advantage of, and he did.
Bratton's answer? The 43-page Teneo report released last April. By far, the report's biggest recommendation, banning vehicles along the first 8 blocks of Bourbon Street to prevent future terror attacks.
We have to strike that balance between the people who live there, the people who work there, the people who have businesses there, with public safety on a larger scale.
The report made other recommendations. Permanent SEER designation for Mardi Gras, intelligence improvements within the NOPD, and hiring more boots on the ground.
We in OPD have already started to implement many of their recommendations that they pointed out along the way. We did not wait.
We reached out to the NOPD for an updated list of what they say has been implemented. A spokesperson told us that there is not a list. So for answers, we had to go back to Superintendent Kirkpatrick's press conference from April on the Teneo report's findings.
A couple of things. You saw some of the barriers that we have now gone out to rent right now until the city again makes some decisions on the types of barriers they want.
A David Hammer investigation last September showed how easy it is for those barriers to be pushed out of the way because they're not bolted to the ground.
What we've been using is what I call, it's a temporary solution to a permanent problem.
NOPD 8th District Commander Captain Samuel Palumbo has a solution. 18 permanent swing gates to be installed along Bourbon from Canal to St. Anne Streets. The price tag, $1.3 million.
What the permanent gates do for us is it makes it a much easier operation. It takes it down from, so right now you have 33 barriers. That brings it down to 18, a single gate at each side of each intersection.
Whether Captain Palumbo's pitch is viable is yet to be taken up by the City Council. Also, city leaders have yet to make a formal decision on whether to permanently ban vehicles here along Bourbon Street. At the moment, that conversation at the feet of Mayor-elect Helena Moreno and the new city council set to take office in less than 2 weeks.
I have not felt much of an appetite for a permanent closure to Bourbon Street. I haven't heard that from the residents. I haven't heard it from the business owners. I haven't heard it from the employees.
We're lagging, Brandon. We're lagging behind.
Melanie Talia says the city needs answers. 1 year later, 14 people killed, 50 others injured. What to do still hangs in the balance. And its backdrop, those chilling words, all hope remain true. Never again.
It's a conversation that seems to have been ongoing for almost 365 days now and continues. And it looks like it's a conversation that's going to take us into 2026.
Is it moving too slowly?
Public safety should not be victimized by political pace.
Is the political pace moving it too slowly?
We are not meaningfully safer today than we were a year ago. So moving too slowly might be a good characterization.